HarperVia and HarperAudio present The Dilemmas of Working Women, Stories by Fumio Yamamoto. Translated from the Japanese by Brian Bergstrom. Read by Yuriri Naka.
Naked. Lately, I'd become obsessed with sewing stuffed animals. I'd seen a bear in the store and I thought it was cute, so I went to a hobby shop and saw they were selling kits that included the yarn, needles, and other little things you'd need to make any sort of animal. It seemed to be a thing. I bought a kit and went home and made a frog that very evening. I went back the next day and I bought more kits. A dog, an elephant, a cat, every kind they had. I made one every night until I'd made them all. The next time I went back, I just bought yarn and felt, and some buttons to use for eyes. I'd figured out the trick to it after about the fourth kit, so I wanted to start trying out my own designs. But apparently, I'd lost any ounce of creativity I'd ever possessed, and a hippopotamus I made turned out not the slightest bit cute. So I went to a bookstore, bought a Pokemon handbook, and then made one pocket monster after another, starting with Pikachu. I was so into it that I forgot to sleep, forgot to eat, and out came monster after monster. Jigglypuff, Togepi, Psyduck, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Eevee. But soon enough, I got bored with them too. So, thinking I'd try my hand at making a stuffed version of my post pet, Momo, I turned on my computer for the first time in a while and saw that there were over 20 emails waiting in my inbox. I'd once been obsessed with post pets too, these little animal characters who'd deliver your email. Most of the messages were from e-friends I'd made on the Postbet site. I didn't know their real names or faces. Animals would appear, bears, turtles, hamsters, only to disappear, leaving letters behind in my inbox. The messages themselves were never anything of any importance, but the point of it was to make my little pet deliver and receive messages, so while I was never particularly gratified, I was never particularly disappointed either. But today, waiting there in my inbox was a bear named Momotaro from Asuka's house. The content of the message was an invitation. I'll be in Shinjuku next Saturday shopping for the Bon Festival. Do you want to grab lunch? Counting from the date on the email, next Saturday would be tomorrow. Maybe I should call, I thought, but then remembered how busy she was and I decided to email a reply instead. Whenever and wherever is fine by me. The call from Asuka came before 2 hours had passed. It's been so long. How are you doing? I never got a reply, so I figured you were busy and I decided not to bother you. She seemed still unused to the idea that I had nothing but free time on my hands these days. I wasn't busy. How could I be? I don't do anything. I'd meant to say it lightly, but Asuka grew silent on the other end of the line, seemingly at a loss. Worried that I'd said something wrong, I hurried to explain myself. The thing is, last week I got wrapped up in doing something and it started to interfere with my sleep, so I fell behind checking my email. It wasn't a job or anything, but still. What was it? I'm sewing stuffed animals. Some of them have turned out really well. I'd love to show them to you. There was no answer. It seemed I'd left her at a loss once again. I pretended not to notice and chattered on. What time should we meet tomorrow? I'll fit myself into your schedule. A housewifey sigh escaped Asuka. I don't know whether to be happy or sad, hearing that from you, of all people. We decided on a time and place to meet and hung up. I found that I was neither particularly happy nor particularly sad. Just vacant, a white blank. Soon it would be 2 years since I'd become unemployed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?